Back by popular demand, meaning people were DMing me on Twitter saying, "Hey Rich, talk about it. We're still interested to hear your take. I'm going to complain about DKOldies sending out another console to somebody refurbished. And it's not refurbished. They say it's refurbished. They'll put a sticker on it making it like it's refurbished. But 8-Ball, is it actually refurbished?
No.
Focus and ask again. That's what does it. Can I flip it? Of course it's not. It says focus and ask again. I'm gonna have you focus on my goddamn ass. Let's start the video. Skip it up and that up. So it's review DKOldies. I was actually gonna glance over this. I said talking about this yesterday was redundant. But then I got a Rich, we want to see, because TronicsFix, I actually been watching TronicsFix for a while. I remember back, I think it was in 2016, that he had a PS4 that was full of roaches. I'm gonna hurl just thinking about it, but it's true. Like, how disgusting can you be to get a console infested with roaches? Like, that's like basic hygiene and cleaning up is, anyway. I could go on a rant about that for hours. So anyway, TronicsFix decided to order a very expensive NES player pack from DKOldies. DKOldies, the true colors of them are just shining through, and everyone wants to make videos because people are interested in this topic because they are amazing as a company that they have been getting away with this for so long and saying they're doing something they're not so they could raise prices. So a lot of other people like, hey, I want in on this exposure of DKOldies gravy train too. Because yes, the videos get views, and I like exposing terrible people and companies. I take great pride in it, and I get thoroughly tickled. So anyway, this is going to be a semi-react video. I don't want it to be too long. I've already rambled long enough, where we watch TronicsFix unbox and disassemble his Nintendo Entertainment System, and how do you think it's going to come out? Take a guess on your breasts. Doesn't come out well, does it, Eric? Spoiled it. Damn it, you could shut off the video now. Or you could subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my live stream channels. Link to everything below in the description, man.
I've never actually purchased anything from DKOldies, but I've seen a lot of mixed comments about DKOldies on some of my YouTube videos and TikTok videos, so I wanted to buy something from them so I could check them out for myself. I have to say, everything seemed to be packaged pretty well, so I have no issues with the packaging. The zapper gun is definitely not original, which...
Oh, God. I didn't even notice that the first time, that the zapper gun isn't original. So we're going to find out how much...
You blew it.
So we're going to find out how much he spent, then we're going to skimp through this video, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes.
I don't think it specifically says that it's going to be original, but in the picture it does kind of make me think it will be.
Now I see why everyone wanted me to talk about this. And the zapper, you are putting a fake version of a peripheral in a bundle.
You blew it.
You are putting the fake version of a peripheral. Oh my God.
You blew it.
You are putting the fake version of a peripheral in a package, and you're naming the package around the peripheral, so people are like, man, I miss the original zapper. I remember playing that. I got the CRT that works perfectly. I found it at a garage sale. Oh, look, DKOldies is selling a zapper pack. Of course, if they're gonna, you would assume that if they're calling it the zapper pack, they'll at least have the zapper be original, right? No! That is not what they did. They gave you a crap third-party zapper. I have a little bit of a cold. I'm not laughing, I'm coughing.
Kind of silly on my part, though. So this is what I got. The original NES Mario 1-2-3 Zapper Pack. Let's just click on that real quick. So, yeah, the Zapper gun definitely doesn't show that it is the original, but it does look like the original. So that's obviously kind of my bad.
No, it's not your bad.
Now, I paid $314 for what I got.
$314. Even if this thing was refurbished perfectly, like Drew himself licked it clean, then disinfected it and changed every capacitor and found a 72 pin connector, whatever, how many connect, and he found one made of platinum That Flava Flav was wearing this connector around his neck. He's like, nah, man, I need this for TronicsFix. That all doesn't matter. $314? $314? Even if this was the most perfect NES ever. Unless it was brand new, it would be a lot more money if it was new in box. But you get my point. How dare you charge this much, even if you did the work that you said you do, but we know you don't, making that price even more horrific. Why are my glasses off?
But I also have the original controllers, and then I also have the HDMI cable, the other cables as well, and then the AV HDMI converter.
That's actually a pretty good converter. It doesn't mean it still look like crap because it's composite, but a lot of times you get those converters and they don't work with a lot of monitors. That one took up the composite to HDMI. Do I still have it here? I hope I do. Hope I didn't lose it because it's actually useful. Works on most televisions. So they give a good converter box. Yay, DKOldies.
So the first thing I notice with this system is this is definitely a replacement top, and the colors do not match with the shell. That honestly is a little bit of a disappointment because I was hoping everything would be original, and the color mismatch, I mean, that's kind of an issue given that I'm paying absolute top dollar for this thing.
Yeah, and it looks dirty too. That doesn't look like they even did some hardcore Windexing to it.
You can kind of see the color mismatch here. Not the best, but I don't know. Not my favorite, not a huge deal, but it is a little disappointing, especially given that this isn't an original game cover either. Let's get this thing plugged in and see if it works. Let's start with the best game ever for the NES, Super Mario 3. Let's see if it'll turn on and if it shows up on the screen. Okay, let's try a bit of a reset. Okay, so I'm gonna plug the game in and out several times. And now let's try it. And gray screen. Okay, let's try it without pushing the game down into the system. Just having the game pushed in, but not pushing the tray all the way down. And gray screen.
Nothing like spending $300 on a Nintendo Entertainment System and have it right out of the box not work with games that you also got from DKOldies. So they can't even say that we put in a game and it works. Like that's not even happening here. That's not even happening. They are frauds. They are frauds. Do you understand why I get obsessed with companies and people like this? Because the audacity that they have just fascinates me. Like, even if I wasn't making YouTube videos, I would be, like, psychologically invested in this because it's bizarre that these people get away with it. They've been getting away with it for years. Even alleged former employees have said it. And now the chickens, meaning my nipples, have come home to roost and expose them. And I might be hard because I hate terrible companies and terrible people. Not that I'm an angel, but I would never do something like this. Alright, so he finagles with that. It didn't work right out of the box unless he did some forced and blue in the games. So now let's take a look at the controller.
Now, as I said, I did get the package with the 2 original controllers, and this does look all original. It does have some scratching on it and stuff like that, but really not too bad. Kind of what you'd expect from, you know, for getting an original. Let's take it apart though and have a look at the inside. See if they did anything, if they cleaned it out or anything like that. Okay, this all looks all pretty good so far. Okay, this one definitely has not been cleaned on the inside.
Look at the grime! That's like... Opening up an NES controller is like surface level refurbishing. It's like not even that much of a step further than Windexing the outside of the NES. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God. And didn't they said they were trying to say in Jigsaw, who was allegedly a former employee there, they tried to say they changed their ways 8 months ago? How? What have you changed? Drew, what have you changed? Joey, what have you changed?
You can see all of this kind of grime on this pad right here. Same with this one right here. Let's check this one with the start button. Yeah, same thing here. So, I mean, not a huge deal. It's not like these are like super gross, but they also definitely weren't cleaned.
I appreciate the professionalism that I personally lack that TronicsFix has here. I just called a game dev a dickhead on Twitter today, by the way. You should go check me out on Twitter. I'm off the rails there. I probably should stop, but if you like to see a shit show, follow me on Twitter.
And we'll just go ahead and remove this sticker, because we void warranties here at TronicsFix. Okay, and now the top should be able to come off. And there we go. Actually, looking at the top, the first thing I notice is there's like spider web in here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like kind of dead bug bodies in this spider web. Not like a huge deal or anything, but I feel like this either hasn't been cleaned or it's just been sitting around for a long time getting bugs in it.
There was a spider web in the top. The easiest thing is to just take off the top of the NES. Do you understand? Yes, Jay, this video is now going to be about 30 minutes long. You may have to get Scorsese involved with it. This is probably you begging me to stop right now. Even if they did the blowing out they say they do, that web wouldn't have been there. There would have been enough air through the vents to make that web pop right off. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Joey. Thank you for this well-refurbished NES. You are a fraud. I enjoy exposing you. The price you spent on that, there shouldn't be bugs in it. That's like you spent mid-range graphics card money on an NES, which you could get for significantly less if you shop around on eBay. And even though it may not be refurbished, I guarantee you it's in better shape than this. I don't know why I did that.
First impressions of the inside, other than the top case with the spider webs on it, nothing looks too crazy in here. It's definitely not, you know, spick and span clean, but not too bad. So let's get the rest of these screws out and have a look specifically at this 72 pin. Now, it's been a while since I've taken one of these apart that had all the screws in it, but I feel like this has to be missing some screws here.
Yes, TronicsFix, it's missing screws, because mine was too. Mine was too. It's missing those screws.
The screws that we took out already were from these posts right here. Other than that, there's one screw down there, one screw over here, and then just the screws for this right here. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be more screws than that.
For, again, the price you spent on it. And then on top of it, there's a reason Nintendo, there's a reason that engineers, corporations don't spend money on extra screws that they don't need to, or extra parts that they don't need to. The reason the NES was designed with those many screws in mind was they were probably thinking of the wear and tear that would happen as you put games in and out of it. Over time, I'm sure that they did their stress testing before they delivered the product and said, we need to have screws here to brace the system so parts inside don't disconnect or break. So if there's a screw there, chances are there's a reason that the engineers put the screw there, because corporations would not spend money on the extra screws and parts if they didn't need to.
So this is sort of interesting right over here. Now, the advertisement didn't say anything about having the lockout chip disabled.
Now, this is something, just a little sidebar that's interesting, and I'm sure because DKOldies never opened this console, or if they did, they just replaced the 72-pin connector and slapped it back together. Whoever sold this NES or gave it away or whatever, disable the NES lockout chip. That was the chip that basically communicated with the cartridge. The NES communicated with the cartridge, telling it it's a legitimate game, which Nintendo did this to try to prevent piracy and from having random crap games made for the Nintendo Entertainment System. They had to fall under Nintendo's seal of quality. So someone who sold this NES or got rid of it disabled that chip so you could play whatever damn games you want to, licensed or not. Interesting little side note. I'm sure Joey didn't know about it though. maybe Drew did.
No. Other than that, I mean, there's a little bit of, you know, dust and debris in here, but not bad. Pretty clean overall.
But yeah, there should be no dust and debris. That again is Windex level stuff. If you have the console taken apart and you're actually refurbishing it, that should be the most basic stuff that should be done. So that is a big deal that it's not done. But it gets worse. We get into the connector. This video is going to be 3 hours long and have 12 views. Let's go.
Now, looking at these pins on the board, they don't look too bad. I'm going to go ahead and just clean them just to make sure they're nice and clean. Now, for this 72 pin, I'm going to tighten this thing up by getting my pick under these little pins and bending them back up.
Look at those 72 pins. They're not that's a cheap third-party connector, and they're not really making contact with part of the cartridge. And it would have taken, like if you're refurbishing these things on top of it too, even if one game worked, you didn't try a few games, 3 or 4 games, DKOldies, like they don't really check to even see if they work. Like I said, my Xbox didn't work. It read a couple games after it struggled with 90% of them. You guys saw the video.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nastiness coming up there.
Wow! DKOldies didn't clean the connector on the motherboard. So, lo and behold, he cleans the pins on the motherboard of the NES. He tightens up the pins on the 72-pin connector. If I'm saying the wrong number of pins, who cares? And he shows himself re-cleaning the cartridges. Then it actually works, because TronicsFix actually refurbished it. He did what DKOldies don't. Genesis does. So this is why you guys wanted me to talk about this. That is an insane amount of money to basically be sold a lie by DKOldies. This is the problem that the YouTube community has with them. This is why the YouTube community is so interested in watching videos on this subject, because it is amazing that a company keeps getting away with this. And so long as they do, I'm gonna keep calling them out, and many other YouTubers are too. I headbutt my bird and now my head hurts over here a little bit. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one. I'm sorry, Jay. This is gonna take 74 hours to edit because I'm insane.
Me.